So I was thinking yesterday after I made my video about changing my underlying belief that I wasn't a desirable partner. At the end of the video, I said something like, I don't even have any evidence that I'm not a good partner. All I have is evidence that I am. And I was thinking about it. And I wanted to put something out there because I'm 40 years old. You know, I've always been very dedicated to changing the things I thought were bad about myself and improving and growing and all of that. And so I've done a lot of changing over the years. And I was thinking about, where did this idea that I wasn't a very good partner come from? And, you know, it didn't take long for me to realize it. I think it comes from the fact that I actually wasn't a very good partner, when I first started out, or I had certain flaws that I regret, that I've worked out over the years, issues with myself that came out in a bad way in a relationship that don't happen anymore. And I wanted to say that if that was your reaction, or if when you think about the beliefs that you hold about yourself and some of the ones that you think are bad are actually based essentially in reality, or they're coming from something where you have recent experience or evidence or whatever in your mind, that can make it really hard to change, because you're like, well, no, this is actually true. But here's the thing. Your behavior or your current traits that you display are not you. They are part of your ego identity, part of 3D you. They're not part of your essential being. And the ego you, the character that you're playing, is incredibly malleable. It's not you. You are the observer. You're the person. You're the energy and being that is controlling the avatar. And so you don't need to identify with the things that you're currently not happy with, or things that you're struggling with changing. That doesn't make it true about you. And another thing that I think is really interesting, that I didn't really expect, but that I observed in my own life, was that people forget so quickly that you were ever a certain way. If you legitimately change something and you embody that change for like 6 months, everybody that you know, the people closest to you, people that have known you your whole life. I mean, I don't know your family, obviously, but, even people that have observed you displaying a certain trait or inability to achieve something or whatever, even people that have seen you doing that consistently for like years and years and years and years, they forget so fast that you were ever like that when you actually change. For a long time, I was a person who, couldn't like pay for dinner. Just for a long time, I was certainly not somebody who had money. And once I started to get successful, that changed so fast. People's view of me changed so fast. Same thing with my weight. That was especially crazy to me. Like, I've only been at my current weight, or around this weight, for like a little over a year. And it's like it never happened. It's like the last 15 years of my life never happened. And so I think one thing that keeps people stuck is feeling like they're surrounded by people that see them a certain way, so they're not allowed to change, and that, that these people will always try to drag them back. And, you may have some people in your life that are like that and that will not respond the way I'm talking about. But the thing is, when you have an internal change and you actually change to something else, your avatar, your character, your 3D you changes to something else, and people continue to try to drag you back to where you used to be, it becomes very apparent that that's their problem. You know, once your inner security becomes intact, other people, you know, you start to clearly be able to see, wow, they have a problem. You know, you don't take it personally because you don't identify with the thing that they're trying to drag you back to being or doing anymore. So I know that I used to worry about that. You know, I'll always be this person and everybody really knows the truth about me, you know, that kind of thing. It's just shocking how quickly you can go from being, you know, kind of a joke in an area to an authority in an area in people's minds. That's not really important to me personally. I think I'm kind of exceptionally in the category of doesn't give a shit about what other people think, what most other people think. Just through some life incidents that have kind of forced me to get to that point. But I think this affects a lot of people, and I think this affects some people like, greatly. Like this could be the stumbling block for somebody. Like the main thing, one of the main objections that they have from moving from where they are to where they want to be, especially if it requires a big change that other people will observe happening and notice. You know, people hate change. My mom, so the person that has known me the longest, she's the one that has surprisingly reacted most, I don't want to say negatively. As I changed my body, which was something that she harped on me about my whole life. I don't want to say harped on me, but she expressed disapproval about my whole life. Even when I only weighed like 130 when I was younger, that was still too much. Even she was like very concerned, you know, watching this change occur. Like she was visibly thrown off, and she's just now starting to get used to it. You know, she even kind of like turned around to the point where she was like trying to give me food and stuff. Like if I was over for a party or something, she'd be like, "Did you eat enough?" Which, if you knew what that coming out of my mom's mouth is like the most shocking thing I've ever heard. But that's just more evidence, you know, that somebody who's known you your whole life, your mother, if you're a woman and you've been overweight, your mother who has been like, you need to lose weight, within like less than a year will be saying, are you eating enough? It's crazy. So what I'm trying to say is, don't identify with problems that you have. Don't fight like hell against identifying with character traits that you don't want. And don't worry about other people. All you have to do is fight through like 6 months to a year of embodying a change, and people will have no choice but to just see you in a different way. Now, this is just like this is not Neville Goddard reality transurfing. This is just plain old, this was my experience. I don't know, maybe there's a shortcut around that. Maybe you can just affect changes in other people some other way, but I just want to put this out there for anybody who might be struggling with that particular thing.